Dang it. Hi, welcome to the Required Podcast, episode 13. Ooh, I almost said 14.
Almost immediately got it wrong.
You know, what did we just talk about like 30
Clearly
seconds
nothing,
ago?
because we just started recording. Nothing else was said before
okay.
this.
Yeah.
The world
Literally
was
no
ending
talking.
before we started recording.
They don't know that, okay?
All cease to exist.
What kind of a fantasy world do you think podcast listeners live in?
Hey, I'm a
Oh, the
They
world
podcast
doesn't-
wait.
listener.
They don't. These people don't exist
What do you mean,
They
until
these
hang
the
on our
people?
images
every
on my
word.
smartphone.
What do you mean, you people? Hi, I'm Brandon.
I'm Cody.
And I'm Ethan.
So how's your day been going, Gelf?
Oh my god! All right, so
Fantastic.
Just right into it. I'm
Let
so
me
sorry.
start-
You don't have to answer this.
I'm here for it.
Feel the
Okay, so
frustration.
All right, let's go.
back on like Tuesday, Wednesday of last week, we got all the pieces together to build this new computer for our streaming rig, our crafting rig. Now, two of these pieces came from that place that shall not be named, and everything else I carried with me in a tote bag down from Minnesota because I was up there for my little sister's wedding, right? So I had to carry two motherboards, CPU, two different hard drives, and a bunch of crap through TSA, which went off really well, no big deal. We get down here, we put everything together, it takes us a couple of days, because Avendi's not feeling good. He had his wisdom teeth removed. Actually, no, I take that back. It was Monday that all this started because Tuesday morning he got his wisdom teeth removed. So it took us a couple of days to get everything together. I had to go to work, so we didn't have time to like just throw it together, speed build it. Well, hits about Thursday, and this thing's not like it's posting, but it keeps shutting down randomly. And we're trying to figure out like what the fuck is going on? Like what is this? So we're troubleshooting every single part of this damn thing. I'm pulling my gaming rig. I'm pulling it apart. The one I stream with, the one I, am here for.
Right.
I was pulling the pieces apart to plug them into this build to see what the issue was. Was it the video card? Was it the RAM? Was it this? And could not figure it out. I had like two different people on the phone saying, test this, put this in, try this. Is it the OS? Is it a bad Windows install? Is it blah blah? And finally, Rectify, who's another streamer, he's a good friend of mine, and I owe him pretty much my life. At this point, he said on Thursday, he said, "Hey, do you want me to just come down to Austin and fix it for you?" And I was like, "You know what? That might not be a bad idea. If I can't get it working tonight, yeah, why not? Come Friday. So, do you want me to come down to Austin? Dear God, yes."
Yeah.
So he showed up on Friday, drove down. We tested the first motherboard. Well, we think the motherboard's bad, so we set that aside. We grabbed the other motherboard because I had bought two, put that one in, pulled everything apart, put it all back together. That one's not working. Well, maybe it's probably the CPU. Okay, so we drop another $250 of money that I don't have onto the one fucking Ryzen 7 2700X AMD processor that's still in the Austin area. And we go over there, we pick it up, we bring it back. We're still playing with it. Well, now it's not the CPU, it's probably the motherboard again. Is it the BIOS update? Is the flash bad? Is blah blah blah. Well, finally last night, Rec is just like, you know what? We're gonna leave super early tomorrow morning. I found a motherboard for us out in Bastrop, which is like 45 minutes away. And we're gonna have to go pick it up and get back here, and we're gonna, because I think it's the motherboard. Okay, fine. Is it the motherboard? Is it the CPU? Whatever. So we drag that back, and he just goes balls deep in this thing. He's tearing it apart. He's posting it. He's pulling these pieces out. He's putting it, and I'm just watching, going. So it ended up being both the motherboard and the CPU.
Oh wow.
Now, those were
I
the
am not
were those
fucking
the
happy.
were those the salvage parts?
The say again. No, they weren't. They were new purchases.
Wow.
And
Okay.
what really pisses me off is that a motherboard failure is rare. A CPU failure is extremely rare, exponentially rare.
Yeah, I've never dealt with
We had
anything like
both.
that.
We had both of them happen on the same fucking build.
That's so crazy.
I'm not happy. Like we now here's the big thing. is they're warranted because we just bought them like less than a week ago.
Mhm.
And the problem is that when I bought them at a micro center. The nearest micro center to Austin is 3 hours away.
Oh.
Oh.
So Rectify is like, well, I'll just take them back up to where I live, and I've got a micro center like 10 minutes away. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So I'm about 400 and some odd dollars over budget for this build. And if we had just put that money into an Intel build, I doubt we would have had this issue. Asterisk disclaimer,
Calling you
it's
out,
not actually
bitch.
it's actually not AMD's fault.
Oh,
It's just,
yeah.
this is my first AMD build. So, and computer builders,
Oh.
I mentioned this in my Discord. I mentioned this. I think Rectify was yelling at me, but I've got my headphones on. I can't hear him.
Yeah, he definitely was.
oh. What? Whatever. Sorry about that interruption, guys. Apparently
Okay.
the "I'm live, don't interrupt" sign fell off the.
It's all good. I'm not worried about it.
But basically, what it was fuck. Now I completely lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
Was it AMD's fault?
Oh, right. Thank you, Cody.
Yeah.
It wasn't AMD's fault. It was, the motherboard was Asus. I love Asus. I've
Oh, yeah.
never done an AMD build before, and computer builders, we were talking about this in my Discord. People who build their own computers or build computers for others tend to be brand suspicious or loyal.
Yeah,
And they
that
tend to be
happens a lot.
superstitious. Yeah, I know one guy who he only builds computers when he's wearing his favorite pair of socks. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah.
All right.
But
Relax.
I don't know.
Less static.
But I mean, like, I've never had an issue with Asus ever in my life before this AMD build. I've never had any issue with. I mean,
Oh shit.
I don't know.
Speaking
And I'm
of
not.
interruptions.
Oh, sorry.
No. You continue. You continue.
All right. I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying that it's actually AMD's fault. I'm not saying that it's anybody's
Yeah.
fault.
I've only used
But
Intel too.
I just thought it was kind of interesting that the two Asus motherboards that I got that were exactly identical, neither of them worked.
Yeah, that's not a good start. Not a good look for them.
So that's getting RMA'd, and hopefully they'll take the CPU back as well, and I can recoup at least 200 and about 250
Yeah, make
bucks
up.
of that
Yeah,
400. Yeah.
yeah. They'll make up a little bit of losses.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a subathon or fundraising or something, or a GoFundMe because we just got hit with this, and then almost immediately after, a Vendi needed his wisdom teeth pulled, and the insurance
Oh, yeah.
would only cover half of it. So we've got
People love
my credit
my-
card is
What?
in pain.
God damn it. I'm so sorry.
happened?
I'm listening, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to. I needed to see something on your channel, and as soon as I clicked on there, the hosting thing was automatic, and the audio went through for like a solid 5 seconds. I was just like, wait, what's that sound? I'm all over the place. My daughter just came home. I was trying to listen to your story. I told the people that I'm gonna be recording. Wow, we are just all over the place today. Whew.
This is a gimme day. This is a mulligan day. We're just gonna kind of rock and
Yeah,
roll. and
yeah.
see
Yeah,
what
it's
happens.
Yeah, sorry if I did. Did I interrupt? I've just
No,
derailed
no,
everything.
you reacted like 2 seconds late, so I thought it was like, did you have a delay getting back to your mic? But then it was
Well,
like, no, it was a
it's
completely
like,
separate
whoa.
It's like I was trying to answer the door. I'm trying to read stuff. I'm trying to text Tiffany. I'm trying to listen. And Cody knows. Everybody should know at this point. If I'm doing one thing, I can't do the other, and I'm trying to do 5
Very
things
hard
right now. It's like I can't do it right now. No, so I wrapped up that whole union spat today.
Mhm.
So if you're podcast listeners, and this is the first time this has happened, but if you haven't listened to the previous episode, you should probably go do that because this is a lot.
It's a great fucking story.
I can't repeat it's just because I literally took up all of the last episode with it, pretty much.
That's fine.
Okay,
You're fine.
so as we go, okay, so all of that bad shit happened, and I was talking to my union people throughout the week, and 3 of us are basically spearheading this operation. The 3 troublemakers, as we're called, jokingly.
The young people.
Yeah, basically, I mean, in the city, I mean, yeah, we got some of the best hanging out in this group. And so yeah, I was talking with my union person, and I was just like, hey, like, I'm worried about my reputation, and I want to make sure that I can, like, make sure that I'm not gonna get, bit for this.
Blacklisted or
Well, yeah, like basically everywhere I've worked, as soon as a supervisor or manager jumps on you, they just harp on you until you either quit or they get you fired. And this is kind of different because I've never been in a place with a union before. And my union lady is like, oh no, we've got you completely covered. You've done nothing wrong. You're totally in your right mindset of leaving because, used and abused, just, we got tired of it. And so, throughout the week, we're getting all of our thoughts together, us 3, because they told us, hey, they want this supervisor that you had an issue with last Sunday wants to talk to you guys at, our start time is 10 o'clock. They said be there at 9:45 and they want to talk to all 3 of you. And we're like, oh yeah. And like all the carriers in the station were like, oh, you guys are in fucking trouble. Oh, they're giving a shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck you guys. You guys don't know what's going on. And we explained it to the other regular carriers, and they were just like, whoa, dude, like you guys have a full out war going on with this other station or this supervisor. And yeah, so today, we go in and we talk, and she's like, okay, well, first, do you guys want to talk here? Do you guys want to go in the office? And like when they say here, it's like out in the open, but there's nobody in there. So we're like, oh, I did most of the talking, and I was like,
you're
we'll
good
talk.
at that. It's okay.
I was like, we'll talk right here. And especially if I come into a situation where I know that you're going to be against me, and I've already completely, because normally I'm very absent-minded. You guys have seen on the podcast a million times. But if I know exactly what I'm going into with all the details that I have, I am razor fucking sharp with it. Like,
yeah.
And I don't fuck around, and I don't yell, but my tone doesn't waver. It's just straight up like, I was like, yeah, we're gonna talk right here. And they're like, okay, well, do we want to talk individually or as a group? And I was like, you're not separating us. We're gonna do this as a group so everybody can get all the same information. And I mean, I was just laying it like, we're gonna talk right here and right now. And mind you, this is really strange. And I think this kind of offset her because I think she wanted to talk to us individually, but this supervisor, her eyes were all watery the whole time she was talking to us, like she was about to cry, and we weren't doing anything. And it was just like, she's like, well, I just want to let you guys know that, I'm the supervisor on Sundays, and I need you guys to know that what I say kind of goes, And I'm like, look, I get that, but I have to go pick up my daughter at a very specific time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I have to go get my child. I can't not go get my child. And she's like, I understand this and that, and I think she's a mom too. So like, yeah, I get it. And she's like, no, I'm a supervisor, and like, she's like, I wish you could see from my point of view, but like, we have to do certain things. And I was like, I was like, I've been a supervisor for a couple of years, actually. I was like, I completely get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I can't not pick up my child. That's just how it is. Like, I know it sucks, but I told her, at least I do my part of my job and leave. Like, I bust my ass on Sundays to make sure that I don't put my extra work on other people. And, and the other carriers, like, she apologized to one of my buddies because, she basically lashed out at her, even though, like, those 2 just straight up, like, left. And, like, when I came in, I just was like, I had a different situation than those 2 did. And so we basically said, I was like, what this teaches me right now is that we should all work very slowly. I was like, if they're not going to pick it up, if the other people aren't going to start busting their ass, like, I understand that people aren't as fast as us. What is that? Are you eating chips?
I mean,
I just hear this soft rustle. Anyway.
Oh no! It's turned into a medium rustle.
Oh god! Wait, it's getting closer.
Oh Jesus Christ! Rip everybody.
Immediate rustle. Sorry.
I've derailed. It's over. Oh my god, it's
You're
over.
talking about how your situation was different from theirs,
So
but she had apologized to one of the girls.
right, so um like we told her, well, I mean, if and she's like she was giving us a whole bunch of like generic answers, and basically because like we know the tools that are at her disposal. We know what she's capable of, but she refused to tell us what she's capable of. But the thing
Because
is
she
that
doesn't want to know.
yeah, but the thing is that we know. We talked to our station manager and we're like, hey, can you look this up? Is that a thing that you guys can do? She's like, oh yeah, yeah, we can do that. I was like, okay, cool. And like basically we just laid out most of what we know, and like we straight told her we're tired of being used and abused, and we're gonna start going slow until shit changes, and we're not gonna help anybody because we're gonna be working on our route all night, except for me because I have to leave at a specific time. I told her my work ethic's not gonna change, and the other two were like, no, we're straight going slower. Like they right to her face, like I'm gonna go slow because we're tired of this shit, and they're in their right to.
Right now,
oh god. Okay, I need to get off your Twitch page. Fucking ads are just randomly rolling. Why?
Sorry.
What's going on? This episode's a shit show, and
The Wild West.
so yeah, because we straight told her, I was like, you know, because it's her station's carrier, so what we do is we say your carriers or my carriers in the way that, you know, I was like your carriers, almost all of them have always told us that they go slow on purpose just about every day because the workload is too much and they want other people to carry it. They specifically tell us word for word, hey, I'm going to go slow because I don't want to carry extra. And we're like, oh, that's cool, that's fine. And, you know, we play it off because we're not going to cause any suspicion. And then we're just like, what? Like, and she's like, oh, well, tell me the names and we'll take care of it. Well, I was like,
pushing it off to you, yeah.
Yeah, and I told her, I was like, well, it's been going on for a year and a month since I've started. So, and we straight told her to her face, we have no hope that anything's going to change. So basically, we're going to fight you till the bitter end, and we're going to win. And that's really because I got to a point because I need to figure out my situation. I was like, so are we just going to fight every Sunday because I have to leave early? And she's like, yeah. Basically. I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, I told her I have my union lady on hand. She's ready to go. And I text my union lady, and she's like, yeah, looks like we're going to fight till the bitter end till you become regular. She's like, I'm ready for that. She's like, it's going to be so easy. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So
the one they love fighting for, you know?
Yeah, and that's why I was talking to my mom on the way home about the whole situation because she works at that station. She knows all the people.
Ooh.
And she gives me a lot of inside information, which is really handy. And yeah, I just
behind enemy lines or something. That's kind of crazy.
And we have so many people at other stations that we get intel on that we have this entire system figured out, and we're done having this system fuck us up. You know what I'm saying? Like we know how it works. We know who the key players are, and yeah, like we know exactly how to go about it now. We're like, oh, okay, you fucking play like that. Gotcha. I remember that motherfucker. Shit. Anyway. I'm not. See, that's the thing. Like I told my mom, sure, I'll forgive him, but I'm not gonna forget what's going on here, like ever.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let the new CCAs know, like when they come in, like, by the way, I understand you might want to work hard, and that's great. It'll get you, make you look good, but just remember, there's a lot of people that want to use and abuse you, and I'm gonna become that fucking regular now. You know, because now
you will become their leader.
We see how the good carriers get turned into shit because. We get so bitter about it. I mean, one of the people that is in the group of 3 is rank fucking 1 in the city. He's the top CCA in the city right now. He's gonna convert at any given day now. And also, we just had 3 people retire or are retiring in the next week.
Nice.
So we're gonna be bumping up a couple steps here soon. So that's really cool.
How far are you down?
I'm like 19, but it's also out of like 70. So I mean, I'm
okay. Not bad.
I'm planning on converting. I think it's about October, November. So that'd be cool.
Hey.
But yeah, it's that's why I said I should probably become a union steward because I did most of the talking, and I was just laying it down.
You definitely should. You got that mentality to.
You're also
you don't want to be taken advantage of. Yeah,
and you don't take the shit.
Yep.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. That's why I need to be here to get me through my day.
Yas. We got you, bud. We got you.
Very welcome.
But yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. We kind of went on our way. We did our. Today was really easy. Today everybody got off at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, which is shocking because that doesn't happen. And the thing with me is I don't think she liked it, but there's no getting around it because normally you're supposed to call when you're done to see if you need to go help somebody or come in. And since it was already 3:15, I just went to the station and clocked out. She didn't say anything to me. She just looked at me. I was like, it's my time.
Later.
I'm leaving. Like I sound like an
Later
asshole
days.
doing that, but I have to go pick up my child. And like I said, people don't realize because if anyone's listening to this and you're like, wow, what an asshole. The standard is 20 stops per hour, and a lot of people do that. Today, I calculated my first hour was 40, my second hour was 30, and then I had like 90 stops. So I did 40, 30, and then like I finished off the rest or whatever. So it only took me like 2.5 hours to do a 5-hour route.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So if anybody thinks that you're just a troublemaker, that is not the case.
no, I'm busting my ass and I'm getting shit on and I'm fucking swinging back. So, excuse my language. I didn't mean to get so fucking heated. My bad.
Fight them all.
That was cute.
You fight the
freaking-
man.
But yeah, you just get tired of
No,
this shit.
fuck those guys.
But
Yeah.
I'm trying to still remain respectable because I like my work image to remain intact. I don't want to be that reckless, like, wow, he's really good, but fuck, he's an asshole. Like, no, like, he's really good. Don't fuck with him because he doesn't like to be fucked with, but he's very good. Like, if you treat him right, he'll treat you right, kind of thing. And that's what we do at my station.
Yeah.
And that's what I told my mom. I was like, because my mom's really worried about me because she's seen supervisors and the postmaster tear into people. Like, they tried to get us all disciplined and stuff, and my station manager and my union lady wouldn't let that happen. Like I told my mom, we work so hard at our station that we have so many people that want to take care of us, and we'd like to take care of them. So we have this huge mutual thing going on where we're pretty much set until whatever. But anyway, that's it's basically the end of that story for now. I mean, there's not much after. I'll basically just be every Sunday is going to become super awkward, and it's whatever. But,
Yeah.
That
So you
sucks.
officially win.
It sucks that you're getting kind of stuck in that corner of having to deal with this bullshit, but a fucking high five for you for taking it by the horns, you know?
Yeah, well, because if we have a lot of newer CCAs that are just kind of like, they're like the yes man, and I get it. You don't want to fuck up especially like when I joined up, I didn't really know how the system worked. But then, especially like if I didn't have my two buddies with me, this system would be fucking me over so bad right now. Because we speculate, we text outside of work, and we really get on top of stuff. Because like one of them knows people at a different station that we don't ever go to, and they get information. And my mom works at the other station, and I can relay that to them. And we have this huge network of people. Well, it's not really like a huge network of people. It's just the right people.
You're a union.
Yeah,
It's like you're a union of people.
Yeah, we've unionized the CCAs under the actual union itself. Yeah, basically.
Sounds like a plan to me.
We've started a miniature revolution in a sense. But
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
apparently because we have some people who were CCAs before us, in our station right now who are like, oh yeah, they used to do that shit all the time, blah blah, and apparently their group was really shitty. So I think that it kind of gave us a bad look when we first started. But I told her straight up today, I was like, I know our station used to be really shitty because she kind of dealt with them before us, and I was like, but our station now, every single one of us comes in with the mentality of we're ready to get shit done. I'm not gonna take it like, I understand taking a lunch is good, but on Sundays you don't need to because you're not there for that long. And like I told her, I was like, we don't take lunches, we just burn through the day as fast as we can because we like to all of us like to work hard, unlike these other stations, and it really shows. Done toot my own horn.
I don't think that's really tooting your own horn. That's being proud of what you've accomplished, and that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, not letting them shit on you for what you've done.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal because that's inspirational for other people.
Yeah, you don't know. See, the thing is every time I say something like that, I always feel really arrogant. But at the same time, it's like, well, you should give yourself a little credit, because I mean, because I don't go around saying it all the time, and it makes me. It just makes
you're
me
the
feel
one
like,
doing the work,
Yeah. I just don't want someone to get the wrong idea listening off of this. Like, I know what I'm doing. But... So anyway, you guys want to transition over to the bigger story?
Uh-oh, what's the bigger story?
You don't know?
Terrified right now.
Okay. This is going to be an intense conversation, There's going to be some sexual themes. If this is probably going to be not safe for work part of the podcast. If you're listening right now in an open space, maybe put on some headphones. Tell your boss to fuck off. Okay, did you do that?
In a
He probably
polite
did,
term.
and he's fired. Okay, sorry about that.
Now you have more time to listen to the podcast. Let's go.
Okay. I'm actually being very serious, though. It's actually like, okay, so Tiffany and I went to a gentleman's club.
Okay.
What was
Did
it?
they have pizza or wings?
I don't know any jokes like that because this is my first time ever going, so I don't really know what I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not a sports bar, like a. Yeah, I don't know if I'd eat the food here. So yeah, anyway, we went to a. We went to a. I want to call it a strip club, but I don't because it wasn't really like stripping. I guess it kind of was, but anyway, it's a gentleman's club, and apparently
Was it
we learned
topless or did they have tops?
it was topless, but it was also
Okay.
it was tops and topless. It was both.
Okay.
It was. I'll get into it. So apparently we learned later on in the night. I'll get to the beginning, but Tiffany isn't allowed in there by herself, and we didn't know that until
What?
after. Yeah. So they were like, they didn't say anything, but like we read a sign. It was just like, women aren't allowed to be in there unless accompanied by a man. I was like, what the fuck?
What?
That doesn't
That's
make sense.
Odd.
Because it's a gentleman's club. Like I didn't
Oh,
put the pieces together. I've never been, so I don't know. Okay, so we go in there, and mind you, this is after work. I get off work, I come home, I shower, I get all cleaned up, and I've been stressing all week because I'm like, this is not gonna be my type of place. I'm just gonna be so uncomfortable. Like, I was so uncomfortable all week, Mike. I felt like I was gonna throw up all week. I was stressing that hard about it, and so we get there, and it's like 5:30, 6 in the afternoon, which is really early for these places. Like, they say that their peak time is like 11 o'clock. But we wanted to go as soon as we could, just because I got off work, and it was like one of the few days that Tiffany had off, so we really wanted to just go in and see how it was. And so we get in there, and you pay at the door. It's like $5 to get in, and there's a sign there, and it says like, absolutely no touching, blah blah blah. All transactions must be handed hand to hand. So it's like, okay, so I'm trying to get the rules down. I don't want to break the rules on my first go around and get thrown out. It's already in an uncomfortable situation for me. So I'm like, okay, I have to let me get the rules. I don't want to ask one of the girls, hey, can you give me a fucking rule list? Like, that's super lame. So we go in there, and it's a little bit darker. There's like a lot of flashy lights. It's not like a strobe light, just it's a little club. And the room is relatively small. And so there's two stages, and they're connected, kind of like an eyeglass shape. And there's a couple girls walk around topless, and a lot of them are fully clothed because I think they're just getting started. Because again, it's like 6 in the afternoon, and their peak time is at 11. So Tiffany and I
warming up.
Yeah, so we sit down, and so like they have like one girl at a time coming out on this stage. And they're dancing. There's a pole, and there's also like a spinning wheel attached to the ceiling, so they can like spin in circles and shit. And so what they do is they dance one song. And I say fully clothed, but it's basically just in their underwear and a top. And then when their second song starts, then they take their top off and they dance topless. And their music is theirs, and they have their own routines, and it's pretty cool. So basically, what we did.
Cool.
So what we did is we brought a shit ton of ones. I've never seen so many $1 bills in my fucking life. I think we split it. It was like, at first it was like 25 and 25. So I had a stack on the table, and she had a stack on the table. And mind you, I'm still trying to get used to the atmosphere of what's going on. And what they do is when they get done dancing, they go around to the people who are there and, okay, you want to put like money in, and it's basically like $1 per dance kind of thing. And it sounds really cheap, but they dance quite a bit within an hour, so it's kind of evens out. So one of the things that really threw me off, because like right now my anxiety, okay, like within the first hour, my anxiety is through the roof. Tiffany's checking on me. Tiffany's been to these before, so she knows what to expect and what's going on. And the thing is that Tiffany and I really haven't, we just recently started talking about, we're getting more comfortable because she's into girls and I'm clearly into girls. And she's like, when your wife leans over and goes, which one of those girls do you think is hot? And I'm like, that's like It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a fucking.
I don't know what
answer
to
this.
do here.
Yeah,
It's a tarp.
it's odd because I know she's in the girls. I know what she's asking, and I know it's okay to answer, but my brain just melts down. And then at the same time, this lady comes up, and this is the first interaction we've had with any of these girls, and this is the wildest one in the fucking place, apparently, from what we've seen all night. And I've never had anybody ask this in my fucking life. She just walked up and she goes, "You want to put $1 in my panties?" And I was like,
I don't know.
I was like,
Maybe.
yeah, yep, sure do. And they don't, some of them pull their strap on their sides, but a lot of them don't. So they make you do it. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
in front of my wife, I'm still trying to process this. And it's like 45 minutes in. And I'm like, sure do. And I don't want to like pinch their skin. I feel bad. And, I put the $1 in, they walk off. And, I don't know what it was.
That's such a cute consideration. Like it's sort of like I don't want to pinch them. I don't want to make it.
It gets better.
I don't want to snap them.
It gets better. It gets better.
Oh no.
So okay. So we watch all the rotation of the girls. They come out one at a time, doing their dances, 2 dances each. Some of like there's one. Okay, so basically they're really skinny. One is like really skinny, and like mind you. And the thing I told Tiffany is I've never been with a skinny girl before in my life. I've dated one, but like I've never actually like been with a skinny girl. And so that was kind of my thing was like, you know what, maybe this will kind of fulfill that little bit of spark that I had for that. Like
that
maybe.
curiosity.
Right.
Blah, blah,
And
blah.
Tiffany's totally for it. It's like, cool. And so she's like, we're looking through all the girls and she's like, well, which one do you want? Blah, blah. And I was like, what? I just don't know. And like, there was this like really nerdy looking one who was really bubbly, and I was like, oh, maybe her, blah blah. But then this guy had her attention all night. He was chucking some money at her, and so basically she stood over there all night. So I was like, okay, I'll move on to a different one. And the one thing I figured out as you go on through the night is you need to find, and this sounds really silly the way you put it, but you need to find a girl that you're interested in and really just lock in, because it makes it so much more fun. Like, don't scatter it throughout all the girls. Like, if you're not interested, don't stress on it. Because so then they started dancing like twos. They started coming out like, one would take one stage and one would take the other. And hilariously enough, there was this one really like gothic gamer chick. And so Tiffany was on her and I was like, oh yeah, she looks good, blah blah, I'm gonna keep looking. And then there's this one where like I just sound like fucking, it's awful the way you put this, but I liked her because we actually talked to her later and she was actually really cool. Like her personality or like her body was really good, but then there was this one where like this girl had like a bigger booty, and I'm an ass man, so I was like, oh, cool. And so, but the thing was, so basically I picked a girl and Tiffany picked a girl, and ironically, or coincidentally, whatever, they both come out, they're partners on the dance floor, and so like,
oh, that's funny.
And I was like,
See,
fuck, who should we pick? And we sat there for like 30 seconds. We're like, should we go sit at, because this was like the turning point of the night. I was stressed to go sit at the front because I was afraid to get all that attention, because there was one when we first came in, there's a dancer that would like do some wickedly crazy shit with you if you put some money on the table, and I was like, I don't know if I want that. But then a lot of them are real calm and collected about it, and they won't touch you or whatever, and it's fine. It was cool. So I was like, fuck it. So Tiffany went to her girl, the gothic one, and I went to the big booty one, and I was just sitting by myself, and you just get to a point where you zone out, and you come to a realization that everybody's here for the same thing, and you don't need to be ashamed about it. Like, as soon as you walk in that door, people, why they're there, and they know why you're there. There's no sense in fretting over it. It's just, it is what it is. Everyone's there to spend some money and have a good time. So after that first hour, I sat at the front because I wanted Tiffany kind of by my side, because it's much easier when, me and Tiffany kind of do stuff together. It makes it more fun. And so I sat by myself and she sat by herself, and my lady didn't do anything too crazy, but she knew what she was working with, kind of thing. Like, she knew why I was sitting out front. Like, she's got a big butt. That's just what it is. And so she was doing her thing, and I put like overall in her first couple dances, I put like $5 up or whatever. And Tiffany's like, you should have seen my chick. She basically made out with me. I guess she put like money in her mouth and like took it out and then
Woo!
put money in her shirt and like licked her neck and shit. And I was like, okay, well, and the thing is, Tiffany's like, oh, well, let's get like they call them table dances, which they take you back to like these like they're not secluded,
Oh, the
but
champagne
they're
room
well,
dances or whatever?
they had champagne rooms, but these are like they weren't as like secluded, but they were definitely like in a darker area.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, this is probably like another hour in. We watch them all dance, and this whole time when Tiffany and I are sitting together, like they're all coming down, like, "Hey, you want to put $1 in my panties?" Blah blah. And like, I mean, we're shelling out ones, like like nobody's business. And then what was it? And so then okay, our two came back out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. And Tiffany and I went to her girl, the gothic one, and because Tiffany was like, "Oh, come here, you have to try it. She's gonna be so crazy, blah blah." And she's putting money in my shirt and pulling it out, and then this is gonna get real graphic. She put $1 on my crotch and grabbed it with her teeth, and that was intense. And, no, it gets far. I want to say it gets worse, but it actually gets better. So we're like, okay,
technically it's better.
we're like, okay, so we went through a couple rounds of them dancing and sitting at the front, and at this point we're super comfortable, because we've chat with a couple of them, and they seem really cool. And then he's like, okay, let's you want to do table dances? And I was like, sure, give it a shot. And
Sure,
because
throw it at me.
our two girls got done at the same time, so and Tiffany's girl went off and did something, maybe like change clothes or whatever. And I was like, I asked mine, I was like, hey, how much are your table dances? Because they range anywhere from, I guess they said $25 to $50 depending on the girl. And from what we've seen, it's all 30. And then if you want a second one, it's only 20 after that. So you can pay 30 and then 20 for two.
Oh,
so it's like 50 for two. And so I was like, fuck it. Mine was like 30. So I was like, okay, sure. And we went and sat down, and basically they do it for one song. And like these are like super comfortable, like little couch set pieces with like wooden kind of walls. So you can't really see like there was another set on the right of me, but you couldn't see him, you couldn't hear him. And you really feel kind of secluded in this little area. And I was just chatting with a lady, like, how long you been dancing, blah, blah, this and that. And she's only been there for 4 months, but she's been dancing for a while. And she's probably about our age, Cody. And,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, all right, so it's going to get it's not going to get graphic, but anyway. So the music starts, and, she's dancing, grinding. She's got the booty. She knows what she's working with, kind of thing. And I'm sitting there with Mike. At the beginning of the story, I read the thing. It says no touching, and first of all, we've already ruined the hand-to-hand transactions, so I don't know what to think anymore. And then she goes, "Oh yeah, well," I was like, this is my first time being at a club thing, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so honored, blah blah, that I'm your first dance." And I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." And I mean, she's just, and I told Tiffany, because as a guy, I was like, should I? And I'm wearing athletic shorts, mind you, Cody, so I was like, should I tuck myself, or is this part of the thing? Do they enjoy?
I don't know.
And so I didn't tuck.
Never been.
I didn't tuck at all. I was like, you know what? They probably enjoy the feel as much as I enjoy the feel. Anyway, and so she leans in and she's like, by the way, when you do table dances, you can touch. And I was like, what? what? Uh-oh.
I think this is a law. I'm breaking laws.
That's when you ask her for a rule list. Are you sure? Can I see that in writing?
Well, no, because the people beside us, like, we saw them on the way over to the chair, and like, dude, that dude was like all over that girl, and I was like, okay, so we're breaking rules or something, and yeah, so we're doing our thing. The song ends, and I was like, that's pretty cool, It was weird.
Out. It's fine.
No,
yeah,
it was
all the blood rushed.
It was intense, and but so anyway, I go back to my seat, and Tiffany's lady comes back. And Tiffany gets a dance, and the chair, there's like chairs lining the wall basically, and she's like, okay, where should we go? And I just pointed, I was like, oh, how about right behind me? And Tiffany's like, oh yeah, good idea. And this lady's giving Tiffany a dance, and Tiffany was super into it, which is fine. I figured she would be, and I mean, this I mean this in the best sense possible for this lady. Like I don't mean this term like, at all bad, but she was a real freak. Like I'm talking like not the bad kind of freak, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to keep this as PG as fucking possible. And so anyway, they're doing their thing, and Tiffany's having a good time, and I'm kind of glancing back, and I'm glancing at the other dancers because they keep coming up. And they're like, "You want to put $1 in my panties?" I'm like, sure. And again, we're at this point we're super comfortable, and so then the girl's like, "Oh, would you want another dance? You know, for 20?" And Tiffany's like, "Brandon, you want this?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't. You know, I just had my dance."
Yeah.
And she's like, no, here, just. And then Tiffany shows out a 20, and
Go for it.
let me tell you. I mean, the only way that I can really explain this is
you just explain it with your. I mean,
I basic. I'm trying to figure out my boundaries here. Tiffany and some. I mean, I basically had sex with this girl. Basically, wow. I mean, it was okay. I'm gonna describe this because this was like the this put the first dance to shame. I like that other girl; she was great. But again, with the whole like
the first one
with like the whole like maybe tucking or not. Also, if you don't know what tucking is, just I'm not even gonna. If you're a guy, you'll probably know. It's fine. Basically, it's when you get a boner and you don't want to show people, and you just kind of flip it up or you flip it down and you just hide it and you tuck it away.
Yep.
Anyway, so I
Helmet up club.
With this girl, I was like, okay, I've seen how crazy she is. I mean, right off the bat, she like latched onto my ear, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then she like lifted up my shirt, and then like she was like grinding a little bit on my crotch, and she even got to a point where like she was kind of like feeling around for me so she could. I was like, oh my goodness. Again, try to keep this as PG as fucking possible, but I mean,
it's tough.
It was intense. I
get it.
I'm trying to like mentally. I'm trying to explain, but it's just like.
And now I'm gonna have to talk to my lady.
It's one of those things where even if it's not, because for me when I first got in there, it was not my scene. I was like, whoa, like this is a bit much. Because
once you relax and you find out it's like, look, that's what it's meant for. That whole building is meant for this.
Well,
they all understand.
I know what it's meant for, but at the same time,
but it's like your brain's trying to. Just because how we're raised
with like my wife and such, and
that's
but and anyway, so yeah, like we do our dance and stuff, and then she comes to our table and she was just chatting with this like normal person, and she's like, oh yeah, we do like these like meetups and stuff where people just talk about their sex lives and stuff like that. And Tiffany was like, oh, it's so cool, we gotta do that. And I'm like, oh, it's neat. That would be really strange to kind of like meet her and be like, yeah, thanks for the dance.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't say that, I guess. But who knows? I don't know. In that little chat.
Yeah,
it's a wild scenario.
Yeah. We'll. Sorry, I'm reading that Discord. Yeah, we'll cut it here soon. We'll just leave it. I
just realized that my mic has been muted for like the last.
Oh, I thought it was getting
3 minutes.
I thought it was getting too hot for you.
Talking. Yeah.
No. I kept saying, like, no, dude, you're fine. We're totally here for this. Just you've already broken the barrier on.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And I'm like, he just talked over me. God, what am I being rude? Like,
yeah.
No, I was muted. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sorry.
But anyway, so we ended up spending $200, about 100 each, roughly. And I think what got that lady's attention originally. So we walked up to the dance floor thing, and I went to my girl and she went to hers at the very first like go around. I gave mine like $5 or $6, and Tiffany's like, yeah, I gave her $10 or $15. I was like, oh my god,
couldn't help it.
She was like, it was so much fun, blah blah, this and that, and anyways, yeah. So we spent about $200, and we ended up being there for 4.5 hours.
Wow.
But the thing is,
that's awesome.
Since we were there for like my first time, we were like, seeing how all the girls were, and this and that, and again, like as soon as you find one that you really want to just, and it sounds silly, if you find one that you want to invest in, then yeah, just latch on to that, and then but yeah, keep them around.
It
ended up being a good time, and I would say that is that is definitely an experience that everybody should try. It sounds weird when you say it because it's like, yeah, go get grinded on by some lady, but it's not as basic as you think. You're just like,
I've never been to a strip club. I've never been to a gentleman's club, anything like that. I mean, I've had invites. My best friend in the late years of high school and the first few years of college, she actually, telling no one, got a job as a stripper at one of the clubs, like a strip club. Literally, I think it was Jake's Strip Club was the sign. And she's like, "So what do you do for a
Good
living?"
for Jake.
Stripper, you know. But she was the thing that she described though is that she was a very thin, very flat individual. And she
right,
said, "Oh no, I make tons of money because people want they don't want like the things they don't want the figures that you see, not the things. God, I'm sorry, the figures that you see in like movies and TV shows or whatever. They want unique and they want and then you zero in on what your preference is, and
right.
then you enjoy the night and they do their job and you're good." And she would tell me stories about how like she had regulars because
Oh,
she
we saw a couple there. Let me tell you.
yeah,
Also, can I just
it
point this
was
out?
weird.
At the place that we went to,
Hmm.
and you know what? I'm not gonna harp on it, but it's just nothing but old white guys. Nothing. That's it.
Yeah.
We had a couple broskies come through, and that was about it. Other than that, it was just
Well, that makes sense
us.
too.
And there was this one girl who. So okay, this is where our caring came in. We noticed some of the girls were actually feeling like left out because nobody would go sit at the front or nobody would tip them, and we were like, we're gonna make it our goal. We're gonna give them some fucking money. We're gonna make sure that they feel good. And
You're
like this,
so sweet.
I know, in a fucking strip club of all places. But again, because we picked up on it. There's this one girl who like nobody would go sit at her front, at the front area. And when she would come down to collect tips, like Tiffany and I would give her like $2 each, which is like a fucking shit ton normally. I mean, normally it's like you only get like $1 each person. And you just hear her like when she's walking away, she's like, "Oh, that's better than I normally do." And I was like, I picked up on that. I was like, okay, well, I was like, next time she comes out to dance, let's fucking just bombard the shit out of her at the front. And so she did. She came out. We sat at the front. And we shelled out like $10 each. And yeah, I mean, she didn't like latch onto us or anything, but I could tell that she was appreciative of it. And that was cool. Just made somebody's night just for that. There was, I don't want to get into it too much, but I think there was a specific reason why she doesn't make a whole lot. And yeah, I guess I could, but I don't really know. I don't know if that could be the reason, and I don't want to sound off. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't make a difference to the story one way or the other. You guys went out of your way to make her night better. I mean, that's worth it. You probably improved her night a lot, and that's what matters, really.
right. Yep. And you could definitely tell that some girls were newer than others, and I mean, it comes with experience, and that's fine. But you could just tell that there was regulars there. They have their favorites, and I mean, that is what it is. Yeah, it was a great time. If I ever did it again, it'd probably be months down the line because I don't really want to shell out $200 again. It was fun,
Yeah.
and the thing is, if we go again, we know who to look for, and
Yeah.
we won't be there as
Less
long.
money on other people too.
Right. It was more for like, okay, if this is the first time around, let's get the absolute full experience. And
Yeah.
it turned out great. And the reason that this all triggered was because
Sounds cool.
I went to the bar the other day, or like a week before this, so about 2 weeks ago now, and some buddies, like one of the regulars, he was like, "Oh, we should go right now or whatever, blah blah," and we're like, no, like I was like, no, let's not do that. Like I don't want to go with coworkers. It might be weird, and that's my first time
Yeah.
going. And there was 2 people on board, and there was 2 people that weren't on board, and then they were trying to talk me into it, and I was like, I'm just gonna be firm about it. No, I'm not going. Like I was teasing
quit
the
trying
idea
to
at
talk me
first.
into it. Yeah.
Now that I've actually gone, that is not a place to go with coworkers, and maybe not even
Yeah.
friends. Cody, if you invite me to a place like that, probably, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a little.
Come on, dude. We'll go hold
rough.
hands and stuff. Just
Well,
a bonding moment.
Yeah.
Your Tiffany and I are gonna need a male escort clearly to go in here, so one of y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. If I mean, yeah. Honestly, okay. Now that I think about it, if I had to go with somebody else that's not my wife, it would be my closest buddies, of course. But you know,
But
if
it would just
but
be funny. I'd be laughing the whole time. It wouldn't make sense.
We'd
you
make you
say
sit over
that,
by the
you
wall.
say that, and then you get
You're-
one of those dances, and you're just like, God damn. Like, oh
Is
my
this my
god.
home now? I don't understand.
I
What
can
is
tell
this?
I can tell how people can get lost in that. There was one guy there that you
Yeah?
can tell that he's lost. Like
Done it for a long time. Like, just that's what he does.
I mean, I was there one time and I was just like, my brain was immediately like, yeah, like we could do that again. But then I'm like, nah, it's just a
Yeah.
lot of money, and
Yeah. Yep.
But
Yeah, that's
I-
unfortunate.
I felt
you can,
bad,
Yeah,
'cause
like you said, you can lose.
you can see it. Like he was sitting like across the stage, like on the other side
Well,
of the room
that's-
from us, and I mean, I don't know his past,
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
his life
like,
story, but
Gambling and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's just,
oh yeah.
you get the same thing. You get like this joy from winning, and so you're like, oh,
Mhm.
got to keep playing.
Your reward,
Yeah.
your reward center of your brain is being
Let me
And-
tell you,
Overpowering.
yes.
The reward was there.
Especially when it's
Yeah,
only
we have
30
a-
bucks and then into 20. I mean, yeah, goddamn. Anyway, what were you saying? Joe?
Oh, there is a strip club here in, well, it's not in our area anymore because we moved, but it again, it was just like I don't want to call it a dive, but I mean it was in like kind of a shadier area or whatever, and I drive past it every once in a while and da da da, and I thought, okay, you know what, maybe if I'm gonna go to a club like this, I mean I'm gonna know what it's about, and so I brought up their website. They had a website, and they're taking pictures of the inside, and you guys, I don't think I could have afforded to walk in there. Like it looked like, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't real marble, but it looked like perfectly clean marble flooring and chrome and mirrors everywhere and lights and like LEDs, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go in there. Like, I'll be blinded, number one. I won't be able to see shit, number two, and I probably couldn't afford the cover charge.
Yeah, I can't touch anything.
I closed the tab and just forgot about it. But it was in like this strip mall-ish area, and I thought, oh well, maybe that's a good place to start. Nope, nope. Closed the tab and left. Yep,
Seeing if I can.
that's a dead conversation.
No, I'm reading. I'm so sorry.
I-
No. I'm awful at it. Now I was seeing I'm gonna grab some pictures for you guys so I can show you.
You took pictures in the club?
What the fuck? No!
Oh,
yeah,
no!
I got some show and tell, everyone.
No!
Jesus, I
Goddamn
was about
pictures
to get really
online!
pissed at you.
Yeah, what the fuck? No!
I was gonna get really, really mad. I'm really glad that.
That's
Thank
so
you
funny.
I'm
for
just gonna
not
post it
doing
in the depths, but that was what it looked like. And so
Oh, that's
audio
kinda cool.
listeners, I am so fucking sorry, but
2 stages in the center.
so you see the
It's like a
couches in the back
cyberpunk
right.
Neopunk, yeah.
The couches in the back right.
Yeah.
That's that's it's a lot darker when you get in there, but yeah, that's those little couch pieces that you sit on.
Oh.
Dude, there was this guy. Okay, so here's the thing, and this kind of blew my mind, but so it's like 30 for your first dance, 20 for your next dance, and then the price is reset kind of thing. And this dude had a girl over there for like 8 or 9 songs.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, holy, like, shit, dude.
He wasn't
like,
playing around.
No, yeah.
Or he was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yikes.
Sorry.
But, yeah.
I'm a good conversation killer today, apparently.
No. No, I said yikes. It's a joke. Never mind. I appreciated it, the joke.
Welcome to my depths.
See, this is
My
why we
depths
need
of
this
fear.
is why we need like video, because like my face was just like
You
Yeah.
want to take video in the club? Oh no.
Yeah.
I could no.
Pictures aren't enough.
How about we all get together? It'll be a business trip, and we all. Go.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Got to pay for the business trip. Sorry.
Why?
So
Why
our
did you
clients in
take $100 out in ones out of your bank account? No reason.
Clientele.
Yeah.
A lot of homeless people. I decided just to shell them out.
Yeah, I just drove up and down I-35 for 4 hours.
My goodness.
It's fine.
I forget that you guys also have. Sorry.
Yeah, that threw me. That threw me off.
35.
Oh,
Yeah,
35, yeah.
135, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
forgot
threw me
that.
off so much.
Yeah.
No, it's I-35, and yeah, whenever I drive past Wichita, it's hey Dennis Rader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
never, hey, best friends in the whole world. We could clearly stop and have a slice of pizza. That's fine though. That's great.
No, I don't wave to you guys outside the window. I message you on Discord and go like, I'm so sorry, but I have to go. And
I remember
feel
that because you were
bad."
like, "Oh, I'm driving through Wichita," and I was like, "Dude, you should totally stop by." And you're like, "Ah, no, my mom did this and that." And I was like,
I
"Yeah."
couldn't. Okay,
Uh-huh,
so my mom.
uh-huh.
No, here. Let me tell you about how my mom drives.
Yeah.
If you are not about to piss your pants, if she's about to piss her pants,
I
or
have
the
a
gas
bathroom.
tank in the needle is on E, those are the only 3 times we stop. That's it. So it wouldn't have happened. I wish it could have.
No, it's
Next
all
time
good.
I'm through there, though, I'll make a point of it. Yeah,
Like,
Mom, we need to stay over in Wichita.
I'm not gonna say anything because of location reasons, but it'd be a lot easier than you'd think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a couple minutes. I feel bad. I've taken up 2 episodes so far, but I hope
Hey,
this
man,
is
you're
just
the one
I'm
with
pretty sure I
stories.
bitched for quite a while at the beginning, and I got sick of hearing the sound of my own voice. So you're fine. I even muted myself. That's how tired of hearing my own voice I was.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I got a Fitbit, and that's pretty fucking cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to get one of those, but I just haven't.
it's so fucking cool. It has it's got a heart rate monitor on it. Basically, I was using my phone and Google Fit for a while to do it, and I've recently learned that it's been shafting me on miles and miles of walking, and I feel so stupid. Because like some days there'll be like, oh yeah, you only walked 5 miles, and then I pull up my Fitbit, and it's like, no, you walked about 12 and a half. It's like, oh my goodness.
Well, they both track via different methods, you know.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the Google Fit uses like GPS location and it pings only every once in a while.
Well, it
So
uses
instead of
it uses the sensor in your phone, and it can use GPS to get a little bit more accuracy. But even then, with GPS on, it's not near as accurate as this Fitbit is. And dude, like,
well, the Fitbit's also made to do it.
right, of course. My favorite thing about this Fitbit thing is the sleep data, where it shows like how you sleep, and it's bizarre because it's like, oh, it's really cool. Like you get to see, like apparently when you're like rapid eye movement sleeping, like your heart rate increases, and it's so cool because you have no idea what you do in your sleep.
You also they're going to be doing Google Pokemon Sleep or whatever.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
As weird as it is, I think I'm going to actually probably go in on that just because my sleep schedule is so completely fucked up that I need to start doing some research on it. I just haven't had a chance to yet. So it's like that might be the opportunity to like make it fun, and I don't know.
There's too many bracelets. I can't wear all the fucking Pokemon Go.
I know.
Bracelets.
Everything's on the wrist now.
Yeah, I worry about
doing a Pokemon Plus for it.
I worry about dinging this thing, but I have protection on it. It was like $100. It's the I guess if anyone's curious what it is, it's the Inspire HR from Fitbit. It's not like a fat face like watch. It's actually like as thin as the band itself. It's like a little touchscreen. I can like filter through like how many calories and move minutes and miles and.
Isn't it like built into it, like flush with the strap too? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have like a hinge at the edge of the
Yeah, I mean you can like there's a little thing where if I need to like replace the band, I can unsnap it from it, but
that's kind of cool.
yeah, it's neat. I had something else today and I forgot. Somebody told me I look like Dave Grohl today. So that was kind of cool.
Nice. Dave Grohl is boss.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I shaved my.
I finally saw the
sides,
Kiss Guy
but...
video.
The what?
I finally saw the Kiss Guy video where Dave Grohl invited him up on stage. He looked like Star Child or whatever.
Oh.
It was awesome. I finally saw it. I mean, I know it's an old video, but I was impressed. I like Dave Grohl. We are talking about Dave Grohl, the Foo Fighters guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
God, I was gonna
like,
play that off, Cody. What the fuck, man?
Sorry.
Thank you,
That's the
Cody.
only name girl I know of.
You snapped at it so quick.
I
was gonna be like-
responded so fast.
I was gonna be like,
It
what are you
didn't even
talking
make
about?
sense.
Dude, Gelf is so off it today that I had her. I had it, dude.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay.
Couldn't
yeah,
play
let's,
it.
You guys got anything else?
Nope. In fact, I actually have to get going.
Right, that's why I'm
But-
trying to
No, I got nothing. It was a
trying
good
to
week.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one thing. I feel like I'm absorbing most of these episodes lately, but it seems like everybody's kind of digging the stories. Like when
Oh,
I
definitely.
Yeah, it's fun.
like when I tell them, it doesn't sound as interesting, but like when you hear it back, it's like, oh, it's what a weird
It's
experience.
interesting. Yeah, it's because it's so weird. You get the
Well, I
good
mean,
ones.
If I were to tell any stories, it would just be me bitching about how stressed I am. So I'd rather listen to
Yeah,
your
yeah,
stories
yeah,
and
yeah.
relax than.
Well, some of his are stressful with the union versus everything. It's
Yeah, but he's winning.
yeah.
He's
I get
on
so
top of
he
stressed
is,
I gotta
yeah,
go
he
get me
is.
a woman.
Oh,
You're like rich businessmen.
Yikes! All right.
Let's go ahead and wrap up, everybody.
All
Thanks to our patrons, Time Jumper, Risu. You guys are dope AF. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, you guys
Go pay
fucking
that
rock. Anyway.
No, it's we appreciate you guys. I mean, we've
Yes, very cool.
see the thing with the patrons
Risu and
is
Time
I
Jumper,
I want to do more for them, and I don't know what yet. So I'm trying to figure something out.
Little
Trying
things, yeah.
to- yeah, you can find us on. If you're listening on Spotify, we're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Plex as well. Just search the Required Podcast. I wonder what if I go to like YouTube right now in an incognito window and I go the Required Podcast. Well, we get. Hey, there we are. Look at that. You can just search us up now. You don't have to put like specific links
Yay!
and shit. So that's
We're
pretty
on the
cool.
algorithm.
Yeah, we're,
Algorithm.
We're
Go.
almost the top choice for it too. So that's kind of cool.
We'll still have to put the links in description because it's way easier for people, and
Yeah.
it's a pain in the ass to have to type all that out. You know how many people in the world probably can't spell required? I challenge you, do it. And add podcast to the end of it and read the list or listen to the rest of the episodes while you're at it.
Yeah, also, we have a new layout. Yeah, audio listeners, sorry about that.
Yay.
Bearded's on there, but Bearded's not here. I made the layout
He's-
like late last night, and I was like,
He will have a big X over his face.
let's just put the fucking green goblin on there again.
No. You gotta put like a gravestone. Over
Yeah.
it, like a little cross and stuff.
He's not dead.
He's dead to us for now.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Till he comes back.
What the fuck, Bearded? I'm so sorry.
Bearded. He'll be zombie bearded. It's fine.
You're dead to me, you
Resurrection.
piece of shit.
That happened quick.
I didn't
We turned
call
on him real
piece of shit,
fast.
You did.
You
You're
basically,
Yeah,
you
geez, you're adding
basically
a lot
did.
here.
You basically did.
Jeez.
That's
hey,
how
I
I
believe
heard
in
it.
resurrection. That's how I expect it to come through.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense in his eyes. So,
Fuck. Clear.
all right, let's go ahead and wrap up. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right.
We'll be back next
Bye,
Sunday.
everyone.
Hopefully, a little bit more organized, and
Less
It was a
stressed.
wild one.
maybe I just won't have
Yeah,
anything to talk
yeah.
about. Like, I just keep, dude. I still have shit. It just keeps rolling in. I live a super interesting life now, apparently, and it's great.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's good, man. Your work.
All right, dude. Take it easy. Goodbye.
Bye,
Love
everyone.
you dearly. Have a good night.